Thank you, Trustee Fialco. Lord, please guide us today to make the best decisions possible for our community. Please bring us closer together even during times of disagreement, but mostly in times when we are here to empower and improve our small town. Remind us, Lord, in our most heated moments, that through it all we are neighbors and that we're all here in the end with only the best intentions. Eternal Father, we invite your presence upon our gathering today. May we find during our time together a common good, a greater purpose, and many productive means to bring your glory to our community. May we be united in heart and mind as we lift our prayer towards you, Lord. We seek your guidance for the realm in which we live, with its daily challenges as a village. Lord, please bless our conversations with your goodness worthy of your hearing. Bless our minds, our mouths, and strengthen us for the work you have prepared each of us to do for the village of Homer Glen. Not by might, not by power, but by the Spirit and goodwill. In the Lord's good name, amen.
Gina, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Rogers? Present. Trustee Reinders? Present. Trustee Casimino?
Present.
Trustee Consolino? Trustee Fialco?
Present.
Trustee Laha? Present. And Mayor Georgiou?
Present. Are there any amendments to the agenda for approval of the amendments?
Yes, sir. I would like to make an amendment to the agenda. Taking and making G1, I'd like to make the motion, I'd like to make the amendment to the agenda to be G, to be public comment on agenda items only, and J5 to be comments, public comment on any other items that they wish to speak about.
So what are you looking for on a public comment?
We're going to, I'm making the move to take public comment and make G for public comment on agenda items only, and then to make J5 public comment on any other items that the public wishes to speak about.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll go to approval of the minutes.
Did you have a question? Karen, we didn't need a second for that.
You should have a motion, a second, and you don't need a roll call, but there should be a second to the motion, absolutely.
Second.
So we're going to second.
Gina, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Fialco?
Aye.
Trustee Casimino?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Reinders? Aye. Trustee Laha? Aye.
All right, motion carries. We're going to go into the approval of minutes. We'll start at this. There's 6 approval of minutes before you. So number 1 is July 13th, 2022 Village Board meeting, tabled at February 8th, 2023 meeting. Motion to discuss?
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
Discussion? Okay, number 2, September.
You, vote.
Yes, we do. Please call it.
Trustee Fialco?
Aye.
Trustee Reinders? Aye. Trustee Laha? Aye. Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Casimino?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 3, roll call. Number 2. September 14th, 2022, Village Board meeting, tabled at February 8th, 2023 meeting.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fialko?
Aye.
Trustee Pasmino?
Aye.
Trustee Laha? Aye. Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Reinders? Aye.
Motion carries. Next would be October 12th, 2022 Village Board meeting, table at the February 8th, 2023 meeting.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fialko?
Aye.
Trustee Reinders? Aye. Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Laha? Aye. Trustee Pasmino?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 4, September 28th, 2022 Village Board meeting. I need a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Pasmino?
Aye.
Trustee Laha? Aye. Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Fialko?
Aye.
Trustee Reinders? Aye.
Next would be number 5, January 11th, 2023 Village Board meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to table that.
I'll second.
Gina, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Fialko?
Aye.
Trustee Reinders?
This is to table.
Right, correct. Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Laha? Aye. And Trustee Pasmino?
Aye.
All right. Motion carries. Next and last is January 25th, 2023 Village Board meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to table that as well.
I will second it.
Any other discussion on it?
I don't think, wasn't there just a change on that one?
We tabled January 11th, now on January 12th.
I don't know, 25th, or did you just edit to that one?
Or we want to table?
I want to table that.
Well, it's already-
And I seconded it, so we need a call.
Okay, Trustee Pasmino?
Aye.
Trustee Laha? Aye. Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Reinders? Aye. Trustee Fialko?
All right. Next would be public comment. You've got 3 months, or 3 minutes.
Can we just add there'll be a public comment for agenda items only at this point?
Well, you already told us.
Well, I know, it's just that it's new, I would like to put that reminder out there, if there's any public comment for agenda items only, this is the time.
We don't have anybody here from the code group, do we? No?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. All right, first one on it is rock tackle.
Due to the agenda change by trustee Fialko, I'm going to have to wait until J5, which I didn't see a J5 on here, but apparently we have one now.
Yes, we do. Okay, next one would be Michael Bonomo.
Mike, is it an agenda item?
No, it's not. No, so it's just for the public, that's all.
Thank you.
Okay. Mike, you've got nothing?
Not on the agenda, no.
Okay. Number 3 would be John Walters.
I'll wait for J5, please.
Why did we change this? And then Jay Ruby.
J5.
Okay, next is reports and communications. It starts out with the mayor. And for the last few weeks, all the signs that are going up, and people arguing and fighting, and where this is, where that is, where they're putting it, how they're doing it, how they're destroying some of them. It's ridiculous. This is a political situation where people have to put something out so people know who is running for office. So we all have to abide by the same rules, and it doesn't seem like that happens, so we need to change it. Our political signs, it says, no sign shall be erected or located in a public right-of-way except as established and authorized by the public entity having jurisdiction over the right-of-way. Is one. Actually, number 3. Number 4, no sign shall be affixed to fences except no trespassing, no parking and towing, and beware of dog. Signs in accordance with all other applicable sections of the code. Last month, then there's another one. No sign shall be installed within 10 horizontal feet of a conductor of a public utility guideway. Number 6, no sign shall interfere with clear vision at or near an intersection of 2 public streets, of the intersection of any driveway and street in the area within the single site triangle as defined in 220-808 in the village code. Number 7, no sign shall be installed within easements unless specifically designed for a sign. And last, in addition to all the other requirements elsewhere in the article, all temporary signs of any type shall be a minimum of 5 feet from the nearest property line. Now, the one thing that I noticed a lot are some of the places where they're placing, they're in by the electric. ComEd does not let you have the signs under the signs under the electrical websites. If you're trying to get onto a piece of property, Purple Onion is a perfect example. You got to find the owner of it and have him give approval of putting the sign on his property, because that's trespassing if you don't. Same thing with the ones that are up on Route 6 and no, that's the, they got their signs up in there.
That's in there.
Can you still let them put that in a different town? Okay. No sign shall interfere with clear vision at or near the intersection of 2 public streets, of the intersection of any driveway and street and area within the site triangle as defined in the 220-808 the village code. No sign shall be installed within easements unless specifically designated for a sign. In addition to all the other requirements elsewhere in this article, all temporary signs of any type shall be a minimum of 5 feet from the nearest property line. There's also a lot of signs that are on Mr. Gallagher's property. It takes a phone call. Get his approval. You get his approval, you can put it there. If you don't get his approval, you're trespassing. And no one better mess with anyone else's signs. That's just not right. We're not children, we're all adults, so put messing with the
Microphone, can't hear you.
Everyone should leave the signs alone. They don't need to be moving them. If they do move them and the police do catch them, that's theft there. So I think we just need to get everyone to grow up, look at the age you are, and how important it is for this village to get everyone to have the equal time to be able to look at who is running and what they're doing. So, other than that, there's some that are going to have to come down. There are some that did come down. There's some that went back up. So let's just make sure we follow the rules so it's fair for everyone that's running. We'll go to the trustees and we'll do Nicole. Are you there, Nikki?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm here.
You want to start out?
Sure, go ahead. All right. Sorry I couldn't be there. My name is Springfield. I have just a really quick report. The Ability Awareness Committee has 2 events coming up in March. One on March 7th, which is featuring Ruben Law, and that is geared towards instructing people with children or turning into adulthood as far as how to set up a trust and take care of what happens after they turn 18. The second event is on March 14th, and that is more of an open house, and that is geared towards anybody to come and learn about the Ability Awareness Committee, what we do, what we stand for, and who we serve. So we'd love to see you all for that. We're going to have pizza and ice cream, and there's going to be a really nice craft, one geared towards adults and one geared towards children. So bring the whole family. And we have the whole committee working on both of these events, and they've been rock stars with putting these 2 events together. So also there are going to be links to register. I think they're already on social media, so if you plan on coming, just let us know. And that's my report.
Thank you, Vicki. Ruben, you're next.
No report, sir.
Rose, you're next.
I have a report, sir.
And Dan.
Yes, sir, thank you. I just want to let everybody know that Homerfest and the committee has got Homerfest well planned and it's well on its way. We are 17 weeks away. If you care to get the updated information on Homerfest, you go to homerfest.com, and we've got all the bands posted there that'll be playing and pretty much the schedule. Some things will be changed along the way as we get a little bit closer, but that's the most of it for Homerfest. As far as admin and finance, we are projecting, I just heard today, that we're going to end up having approximately for our budget a $2 million surplus for our fiscal year. That's the way it's projected at this moment. From May 2020, we had $29 million. And I want to keep saying this because we did not raise taxes, and I want everybody to know how fiscally responsible this whole board has been. And from 2020, we had $29,768,321 in the coffer for the village. And now, as of 2022, I believe that report ended in December. We're actually doing a little bit better, but that number is $35 million now. $35,009,001. So we're doing very well financially for the village, and I think it's just important to reiterate that now and again, because we didn't raise taxes, and there were a lot of questions. How are we going to function? How are we going to operate the road district? How are we going to do these things? And we've proven that we were able to do it. And so congratulations to this whole board for making that happen. As far as retail space vacancy, I want everybody to know, and as a reminder, in 2021 we were at 5.8%, and currently we are at 2.6%. So that is my report, sir.
Thank you. Next would be the village clerk. Right now she's got a baby. Oh. Already started with it. Okay. Go ahead.
The Glen Junior Women's Club is wanting me to remind people that this Saturday is their annual bingo, which is held at the Moose Lodge. The doors open at 5:30, bingo starts at 7. They do have some tickets still available, but that's, historically this has sold out. So if you are interested in getting those, you can visit their Facebook page, and the link is there to buy the tickets. But again, we do typically sell out, so they're encouraging you to make sure you prepay for your tickets. Also, just another reminder that the American Legion post 2011 is hosting their annual St. Patrick's Day dinner at 4 p.m. They do still have some tickets available. Those tickets are $30 each, and that's on the 19th of March. And that's all I have.
Sorry, not seeing it here, I didn't remember.
It's okay.
All right, next would be the village clerk, but right now Christine's home with her son with some health issues. She will make it for the next meeting. We'll go to the attorneys. Eric?
No report, Your Honor.
Carrie?
I'll just be brief, Mayor. My suggestion with respect to the signs, I'm looking at whatever's in the government. First and foremost, you can't single out political signs for any type of regulation. That's different than other sign regulations. You cannot regulate content. You can have certain minimal restrictions, such as size and location. But my advice is that before the village goes out and starts engaging in the removal of signs or the replacement of signs, and possibly violating a candidate's First Amendment rights, that this entire matter be looked at carefully to avoid the possibility of litigation. And it's not just litigation being filed during the course of the election. It could be litigation that could be filed post-election. There are some laws in Illinois that regulate signage, but again, in terms of signage on private property, I would stay away from it because it's an owner's right to put on his property a sign supporting a candidate or in opposition to a candidate. So I would suggest that the village not get into the sign removal business just yet, because you could be stepping on First Amendment rights and creating a potential liability. I know that many people find the signs to be somewhat difficult to deal with, but they're just a sign. You go by it, if you don't like what's on it, you ignore it. If you like what's on it, you cheer for it, and eventually they do come down. But you cannot treat political signs any differently than any other signs. And that's the law. That's per the Supreme Court of the United States. And with that, I'll leave it.
Well, when I was talking about it, all I basically was telling you, you can't do all this stuff in the easements. They have to be in a spot where you're not going to block anyone's driving or disturbing. No one said that anyone's going to go out there. And that's why I said no one should be touching anyone else's signs. If they don't put them in correctly and it's in the right of way, they have the right to remove it. They don't have the right to remove it from the private property if the private property approves it being on his property.
If the right-of-way is the state's or the county's, it's up to the state or the county to make that determination, not the village. If it's a village right-of-way, it's up to the village. But again, as I said, before you start removing anything or tampering with the sign of any particular type, you should be extremely careful, because the first thing that's going to come up is that, well, you didn't touch these other types of signs. I'm giving advice. I'm not trying to tell you what you think is a right or wrong, Mayor. I understand what you're saying. However, I'm telling you that you shouldn't be moving signs around as a village, because you're going to find yourself in a First Amendment lawsuit at some point in time.
And again, none of us have moved any signs. Well, not that I know. There's one out there that someone took and painted a big circle and an X on it. And it was put by different groups of their signs. That's the only one that I've known that's been moved so far. Other than that, the village is not moving anything unless it's on the easement. If it's on the easement, they can do it. And if county wants to come in and they see that they're not where they're supposed to be, county will take them out. All I'm trying to tell the people is, let's be straight up. If you got a sign, put it in. If you didn't get permission, don't put it in. It's pretty simple. Public safety officials, Anything, Jeff?
Yes. Thank you, Mayor Yukich. 2.5 weeks ago, Trustee Pazmino and Village Manager Morella met with Sheriff Kelly. During that meeting, they said I do not provide enough information or reports. So in addition to my monthly reports and email updates about police-related activity, we were supposed to give some feedback to the sheriff. He has not gotten any yet. So until then, all I have to report is that there was 2 stop arm school bus violations this month, one in which a young student was almost hit. So those 2 drivers have been identified and they're going to lose their license for a year. So please be cognizant of school bus stop arms. If you pass it illegally, your license will be suspended. There was 2 burglary to motor vehicles. Both cars were unlocked. So please everyone lock your cars. Most burglars will not break a window or break into a door. They're just looking for crimes of opportunity. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Thank you, Lieutenant Dale.
Okay, last will be Carmen.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. How's everybody this evening? Just a few things. I want to say thank you to all the wonderful Valentines. We passed out about 500 Valentines to seniors and veterans. It was in conjunction with 33C and a lot of residents in the area, so I got to say thank you everybody. That was awesome, and we were really excited to pass them out. The other thing I'd like to just touch base with, and I spoke about before, is Tuesday, February 28th, D92 is doing a special rec with Glen2 Special Rec Center. A lot of our residents actually use the rec center. My daughter is one, and we do a wheelchair basketball there. And they're having a big fundraiser at the District 92 for wheelchair basketball. It's a lot of fun. They give the kids cheers during gym class during the day. They teach them how to play wheelchair basketball. And then at the end of the day, the kids actually play a game with kids that have been playing since they were little. So it's a lot of fun. So I just want to let everybody know that it's going to be Tuesday, February 28th. Starts at 6 o'clock. The doors will open at 5:45. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you, Carmen. Next will be consent agenda. Consider for approval the accounts payable for the period of February 10th, 2023 through February 23, 2023 in the amount of $268,341.19. Number 2, consider for approval the treasurer's report cash and investments for the period ending December 31st, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
No discussion, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Laha?
Aye.
Trustee Reinders?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Fialko?
Aye.
And Trustee Pazmino?
Aye.
Motion carries. Legislation and action items. Number 1, consider for approval an agreement between the Village of Homer Glen and the Lakota Group for professional land planners services to undertake a visioning process and concept development of a new town center in the not-to-exceed amount of $135,876.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Mayor, I can provide some background on this project.
Okay.
So this initiative to engage a land planner in concept development for a town center came out of the Community and Economic Development Committee. Homer Glen, as we all know, lacks a historic downtown, so typical of most other Chicagoland suburbs, where placemaking was spurred around a train depot. This is a unique and high-profile planning opportunity to advance placemaking in the community. The village board subsequently took the CED's recommendation and authorized the solicitation of land planner proposals for the visioning process. And through the scope of work, the village seeks to identify the best location, options, and concept plans for a new town center. This will be through the engagement of resident and stakeholder input, as well as assessment of the market and development feasibility. And then the longer-term results of this process can guide the village toward property acquisition and future development recruitment should we continue to move forward. There were a total of 7 consulting groups that responded to the village's request for proposal. And then we have a review committee that evaluated those 7 responses based on criteria that was listed in the solicitation. 3 consultants were invited to interview, and the review committee subsequently selected the Lakota group to recommend it for village board consideration. That review committee I mentioned, the members included the CED co-chairs and trustees Rose Reinders and Ruben Pasmino, as well as village manager Carmen Morella. We had a CED committee volunteer, Dan Kenny, who participated, and then there were staff members, Melissa King and myself. And that concludes my introductory comments.
Well, I just wanted to say, of the options that we were given, all of them were very good, but the Lakota group had pretty much what we all agreed, some of the best qualities. Number 1 was the community engagement piece. Their plan for bringing it to the public and the stakeholders and getting their feedback was at the top of the list. And of course, the visioning process, the concept development, it was all the ingredients were just there. So that's pretty much why we picked.
They really seem to get the vibe of the village, trying to keep the charm. Basically, they said that we don't even know if you're talking about a town center. What you're talking about is something very, just similar to what you would have, just a gathering place that would maybe extend your park or extend into another area. So, I mean, they seemed to, after we went through the whole process with them, it was unanimous. Before we even left the building that day, we all looked at each other and said, they understand our vision, and we chose them. So they were great.
All right, what I'd like to say, John Sawyers, if you can help me out if I get anything wrong here, but I just want to say that this will come out of the capital fund this money, the $135,786. That's number 70 for our capital fund. I believe we had $2.9 million allocated towards our budget for this year, and we haven't used that much. So it's initial look at it, it looks a little bit expensive, but it really isn't. This is a step in the right direction. Like I said earlier, we went from $29 million to almost $37 million. We kept taxes low, and I do believe that Homer Glen deserves this. We deserve the best. And as long as we can move forward in the right direction and do it cautiously like we always said we would, I think this is a great step in the right direction. Homer Glen deserves this type of opportunity to have a downtown area, like a lot of people have said they wanted from a long time ago. And I think this is a move in the right direction. And financially, we can afford it. We have a population of approximately 24,500, and I think it's well overdue that we're moving in this direction. So thank you, Trustee Pasmino and Trustee Reinders, for moving us in that right direction.
Okay. Madam Clerk, you want to call the roll?
Trustee Rogers?
No.
Trustee Pasmino?
Aye.
Trustee Laha?
Nikki, can you hear us?
I'm sorry, I feel like my mute button keeps fixing. Aye.
Trustee Fialko?
Aye.
Trustee Reinders?
Aye.
Motion carries. Text her to tell her to redial in. Let's cut this down so we can get this.
I'll text her.
Are you back?
I'm back. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Consider for approval a reimbursement grant award under the Commercial Building Improvement Grant Program to LGA Retail Inc., DBA Little Green Apple Hallmark for capital improvements at 14154 South Bell in the amount of $5,868.59.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
And with that said, Jeannie, could you just tell us, after this would be paid out, what is our remaining balance for our grant program?
Makes sense that I would have brought that number with me tonight. I don't have the precise number, but it's around
You can round it.
it's around $8,300.
How much?
About $8,300 is what we have left to work with additional grant applicants.
I think this is a great thing that we can do and keep doing for our businesses and helping with the facades of most of those buildings, and especially after all the tough things that we've had and interest rates going up. I think I'm so proud of our community for Homer Glen to have this program, so thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, you want to call the roll?
Trustee Reinders? Aye. Trustee Fialko?
Aye.
Trustee Laha?
Aye.
Trustee Pedalino?
Aye.
And Trustee Rogers? Aye.
Motion carries. Next, consider for approval an intergovernmental agreement with Homer Township for the 2023, 2024, 2025 Pet Festival.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Just so everybody knows, right before Homerfest on the 17th of June, we'll be having a pet fest. It'll be pre the fest, the Saturday before the fest. So coming up with this governmental agreement, we just thought that it would be better to put it 3 years together. It doesn't mean, like if next year they didn't want to do the pet fest, because this is coming from Homer Township, and then the village working together. But that intergovernmental agreement being that it's for 2 years, it's just so we don't have to go back and have staff do paperwork from both sides, township and village. This avoids that. It doesn't mean we have to have it every year. It just means we're prepared for this.
I want to thank, of course, our commitment was always to work very closely with the township. This is just another example of a lot of great things that are coming in our future. Thank you to Supervisor Balich and Mr. Porfirio for making this possible.
Okay. Gina, could you please call the roll?
I'm sorry, Vicki Bolton. She's head of it.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Pedalino?
Aye.
Trustee Fialko?
Aye.
Trustee Reinders? Aye. Trustee Laha?
Aye. I love it.
It's going to be really a lot of fun. We're planning out all of the different activities for the pets. Who's going to have the best costume, who's going to do the best tricks, and so there's going to be prizes. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it.
Okay, next would be consider for approval ordinance number 23-014, ordinance approving and adopting the official 2023 zoning map of the village of Homer Glen.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Discussion? Madam Clerk, please.
Melissa, do you want to just go over a little bit? Do you have anything over?
It's pretty simple. State statute requires the village adopt a zoning map by March 31st every year, and showing any of our map amendments as well as annexations. So this year we have had 3 of those, including the Trantina farm that was annexed into Homer and then rezoned, and the Villasville property, which is at 143rd and Golden Oak, and the property where the Ace Hardware sits, and there's the Duncan Outlot. They're still working through engineering, just as an update, but that map amendment as well went through. Any questions?
That's all I had. Thank you very much for all your hard work, Director King. We really appreciate it.
Okay, Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Gina, real quick, Nicole was disconnected. She's not going to connect back in again at 7:40.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Pasmino?
Aye.
Trustee Fialko?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye.
Okay, now we go to J5. So that'll be the second for the public comment, and the first one is Rock Beck.
Before I start my public comments, something happened just a half hour ago that is, I think, in my view, unprecedented. Our First Amendment rights were violated by Trustee Fialko. He just limited what the residents can say at public comment. You can't do that. You don't get that right. And I would ask Attorney Hansen, what is the statute on that?
We're not going to get into a back and forth. It's just for public comment. I don't know.
All right.
Up the time.
All right, I'll start my public comment now. The truth is the truth, whether you like it or not. The righteous speak the truth, and the wicked crucify the righteous. At a village board meeting, December 2022, I asked the residents of Homer Glen to please watch the next 6 village board meetings because the truth about the village board would be revealed. At the January 8th meeting, I explained very clearly to the residents of Homer regarding a quid pro quo type of activity that Ruben Pasmino, Cheryl Rose Renders, along with this village board participated in. And when I finished explaining the ordinance change that this board implemented that would facilitate Lenny's Car and Wash on 159th and Galver to obtain a video gaming license, Ruben Pasmino yelled out that I was a liar, and Ruben claimed that he and his organization never took a penny from Lenny's Car and Wash. Here now is the truth and the proof of what just took place. All of those donations can be found at illinoissunshine.org. All donations were from Lenny's Car and Wash. All donations went to Steve Ballich's campaign fund. October 25th, 2021, $250. February 19th, 2021, $500. May 18th, 2022, $500. August 3rd, 2022, $500. August 3rd, 2022, $1,750 for a total of $3,500. That money was then used as they deemed to elect village board that Ruben Pasmino, Rose Renders, Steve Ballich could control. If you need more proof that Ruben and Cheryl Rose, along with this board, are being controlled and complicit with Steve Ballich, I have plenty of examples. The first would be when this Pasmino board once was elected, was to hire Kerry Horvath as their personal village attorney. Kerry Horvath works for the same law firm that represents Steve Ballich and the Homer Township. That is a huge conflict of interest for all of the Homer residents. The second thing that the Pasmino, Cheryl Rose Renders, along with this board did was to fire the interim village manager and hire Steve Ballich's township tax assessor to be our new village manager, a position that Carmen Morell has absolutely zero experience doing. The third thing that was done was Steve Ballich wanted to rid the township of all of its parks and would become, because they had become a burden financially to the township. So Ballich, Pasmino, Rose Renders, and this board passed an ordinance to take over the township parks along with the heavy financial responsibilities. Now, based on this proof that I've provided this evening at the podium, I'm going to end with this profound and curiously appropriate quote. Remember,
You're over.
I'm going to finish. Remember that most fraud is found in dirty politics.
Point of order.
So that's real maturity for adults.
You were told at the beginning you had 3 minutes, sir.
I'm going to finish this. It's 20 seconds.
Point of order, Kerry.
I would just let him finish. You know, he's going to finish one way or the other. I would just say, let him finish and let the
And
next
I'll help
person
you out in a
speak.
little while too, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. I need your help.
You do.
I'm going to end with this profound and curiously appropriate quote. Remember, most fraud found in dirty politics is manipulated by money. Anybody here have any idea who possesses such great wisdom and forthright honesty to come up with such a great quote? I can tell you who it was. It was our very own hand in the cookie jar, Cheryl Rose Renders, on February 20th, 2023 on Facebook. That's what we were referring to as gaslighting by Cheryl Rose.
Next would be Michael Bonomo.
Good evening, Mayor, Board, Homer Glen, Homer Township residents. First of all, I am sick and tired of people bashing businesses in Homer Glen, okay, in Homer Township. Lenny Gas and Wash is probably one of the most generous people that we have in this village. The taxes he provides for the village for all the services amounts to, I'm guessing, $200,000 plus, and we're gonna knock him? He donates money to my senior events. You want to criticize him for that? So let's get on with what I do for the seniors in this town, along with some village members and some residents, okay? I run senior bingo. We do all the additional events. I ask for businesses in the area, restaurants in particular, to help out with feeding the seniors. Most of them don't have jobs. They're relying on Social Security for income, and I want to provide them a free meal. I don't think there's a problem with that. Now, there's no secret that Rose is my cousin. At Christmas, I asked her if she would be so honored to have a Christmas dinner for the seniors. And she said yes. She brought in a staff, which, again, we're getting criticized for a tip on the bill, which paid for the employees that were brought in that day on their own time so they could get paid. Anyone that wants to criticize that, when you go into a restaurant, see what happens if you don't tip the server. See what happens. I would look at that person, how stupid they are for not providing some money to that person who's doing their job. And Rose, for that matter, gave us a wonderful dinner. 142 people enjoyed a dinner that was out of this world. What she charged me was minimal. She lost money that day. As a matter of fact, I believe on average you have to do about $3,500 a day just to break even. She sold me a dinner under cost, so she lost money, but it benefited 140 plus seniors. They left there with a smile on their face. And then they're looking at Facebook with a person who was generous enough to give them a dinner, a nice, wonderful lunch. It was a dinner, really, chicken vesuvio, which Carmen served on his own time. And a bunch of us were there voluntarily to help serve the seniors and give them a good time. Okay? But we got bashed for it. And every time you bash a business in Homer Glen, Ruben's business is getting slammed, Rose's business is getting slammed. All of their employees should be in here right now upset with those people because you're jeopardizing their job. They could get out and walk away. They could walk into another village, open up a restaurant, no big deal, but the employees that work with them are out of a job. And where are they going to go? Think about that before you criticize businesses in this village. And you were an elected official, you should never criticize a business that you were responsible for while you worked here. Keep that in mind. And for the record, her name is Rose. That's my cousin. Ever since she's been born, my uncle, who unfortunately took his own life, named her Rosie. All right? So give her some respect.
Mike.
I'm going to be over there complaining about his behavior.
That's not behavior.
Next one would be John Walters.
Hi, everybody. Just took a few notes from the comments that were here earlier. Until recently, high school District 205 had split public comment where they had on-agenda items and off-agenda items at different times during the agenda. So this is nothing new. And then as far as the gas and wash, that amendment or law that was passed here, ordinance, was pretty narrowly worded so that we would get the tax dollars in Homer Glen and not the gas station that was going up across the street in Lockport. Why would we not want that gaming money here in Homer Glen? Why would we just freely give it away to Lockport? It was my understanding that's why Gas and Wash ended up getting that ordinance that let them have gaming. And it's not like it was going to be every gas station in Homer Glen. It was just to prevent one from having to cross the street. As far as the second village attorney that was hired, this board, when it was elected 2 years ago, could not even get an agenda item on the agenda, an agenda item on the agenda, because there was a lawyer here that represented the mayor and one of the trustees and not the whole board. He was supposed to be the village board attorney, and the rest of the village board needed representation because they couldn't even get anything on the agenda. As far as the parks coming to the village, if there was a village, when those parks were created, they would have been in the village. They wouldn't have been in the township. Those parks were returned to the village because that's where they belong to begin with, if there was a village. Thank you.
Okay, is there any other, oh, Jay Rhodey.
Mayor, trustees, residents. It's been a constant topic here ever since actually I moved in, the water prices. George, you served on planning and zoning. You served as a trustee, and you are now finishing up your 8th year as mayor. My question came to be earlier or later in the weekend when I received a flyer from one of the mayoral candidates. I'm not going to get into which one, but in this flyer, this candidate for mayor states that they're going to lower the water prices if they're elected. My question is to you, George, with all your time in office, why didn't you do it? People have been complaining, people have been overpaying for water. This person running for mayor thinks that, hey, the mayor can lower the water prices. My question is, A, is this person lying, George, or did you not do your job as mayor and did you screw us? I'm going to yield the rest of my time to the mayor to address my comments. Thank you.
Next, is there any old business?
Hi, so business mayor. Actually, I would like our village manager, Carmen Morella, if he could just please give us an update on the settlement of the water bill. I'm sorry, the water lawsuit.
Yeah, so right now with the Northwest Will County Water Agency, us being a member, we're about 20% of the membership. With Illinois American Water, we are looking for Illinois Commerce Commission to actually approve the settlement because it's a rate freeze for 5 years. Once that's done, we'll know where we're at. So that's the gist of it. We have another 60 days before we're going to meet with Illinois American Water to discuss a few more things with the water agency, and hopefully we can resolve some other issues that have been brought up too. So it seems like there's more of a handshake and more of listening and talking amongst the two groups, which is a big plus for both us and Illinois American Water.
Was that point not driven by the judge in the case? He wanted a settlement?
Yeah, the judge did want a settlement in the case. He felt that this case is very tough. It was a tough case. It had been a tough case to try. Valuation would have been a big factor in this case. He felt that the jury would have a hard time grasping the concept with all these experts they were bringing in, accountants, assessors, lawyers, I mean, you name it. They were appraisers, you know, they had all kinds of people to present, and even people that wrote the book on these valuations and stuff like that. And the numbers were just so far off that he decided that the judge felt that it was best that we settle the case. So we walked into the room, we put a settlement together with the group and presented it, and they seemed to accept it. We're just waiting for Illinois Commerce to commit to that. So
Thank you.
they are moving out. Just one more thing, they are moving out one of our wastewater plants within 5 years, and that's the Derby Meadow one. That's been in fair shape for a very long time. I know a lot of residents would be happy to hear that that's going to be moving out of this district, so that's kind of nice to hear. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Under old business, I do have something, and I'd like to address the gentleman that was at the podium telling everybody using the podium as his political launch pad once again, the unelectable Barack You were the one on the list that had the least.
This is not on me.
Yeah, yes, this is old business. That's old business, and I'm covering under old business. So I wish to carry on with old business. He made some comments under things that were old business that I'm going to address. The First Amendment right, you accused me of. Did you think that I didn't go to council to ask council first, sir? It is done in many places. Your First Amendment rights were not violated. You got to say your piece and use the podium as your political launch pad, which you didn't do very well, but you tried. In the meantime, so your First Amendment your First Amendment rights were not violated. I checked with council before we did it. The matter of fact, Lockport High School does it that way. And we want people, and just so the rest of the audience knows, we want people to talk about items on the agenda. It's very important that we get your input as to those items so we can make good decisions on those items that are on the agenda. And so that's why we split it up, is to give freedom of speech on both ends. One for the items on the agenda, and then for the things that other people like to say. As far as the lawyer, when it came down to the lawyer long ago, we took and we voted to bring and to look for a lawyer that was parliamentary procedure accredited. We looked long and hard. We were having some issues with the way things were being done just with the one lawyer. It was a 5-to-1 vote to bring in Olson and Stirk and Kerry Horvath. If there's going to be anything that's going to be above and beyond that as far as cost, that would be on the side of the mayor keeping the lawyer that wasn't voted to stay. Now, I don't think we've had any objection to keeping Erica. We don't. We actually increased the budget to $175,000 so we could keep both parties happy where there wouldn't be this fighting. But some people like to come to the podium once again and try to use it as a political launch pad with wrong or incorrect information. Back to the interim village manager that you said we fired. We didn't fire him. He quit on his own. And part of that came from you and the way you ran things, and he couldn't take it anymore, so he left. And we didn't fire him. He chose to leave. So that's another thing that you got wrong for some reason. Lenny's Gas and Wash. You referenced a lot of donations in 2022. That was the time when there was $3.7 million put on the agenda to vote a tax increase that I just explained earlier that we didn't need because of the good financial stability that we have with the village right now and the money where we've gone from $29 million to $37 million without raising your taxes. But you can't accept that, Mr. Backel. The thing is, with Lenny's donations, let's talk about that. Most of them you said were in 2022. We changed the ordinance in 2021 to accommodate that and to not raise the taxes, while the Thorntons across the street was going to be able to do the gaming anyway because that's under Lockport's jurisdiction. So that's you came up there, spoke about 4 things, and you were incorrect about all 4. So it doesn't make me surprised why you can't get elected. So anyway, good luck next time. That's all I have.
Back to the water. What they didn't tell you is when we joined this, and that was 16, 17 years old, or 16 to 17 years. Now we're in our 18th year. When 2 trustees went to talk to see what was going to happen with the water. It would be Trustee Costa and myself. Sat down with Smith, who was the vice president of the company, and we asked them why we were being charged so much in money. This is when I was a trustee. And they said, well, because no one came to us to ask us any questions of what water could be. From there, it was taken over by Jim Daly. Jim Daly started out trying to get a suit going, thinking that they could win. It didn't work. When they first started doing it, they screwed it up, they had to start it again. That cost a few more millions of dollars. After that, they finally got it to where they were going to court for it, and I asked them, why are you doing this? And they said, we're going to get the pipes. I said, yeah, we are going to get the pipe. They said, but it's not going to be going where it should be going. What happened was simple enough that he never looked into it. We not only don't own the pipe that's sending the water through, we also don't own any of the infrastructure in this village at all. So you've got the water and sewer going to all these houses in this village. And it was nothing we could do about it. So they just kept hiring people and hiring people and hiring people. And some of the people, they had so many lawyers, it was pathetic. And I kept asking, why do we keep spending the money? It didn't make any sense to me because right off the bat, we were going to lose. Yeah. Did we get the pipe? Sure did. You're getting the pipe every month on your bill. So you ask questions, but you just kind of bark them out. And what I don't understand is, I didn't want to be doing that. I hated going to those meetings because at the end of the day, I knew we were never going to win anything. So when this thing came through this time and said that, yeah, we'll sell you the water, we'll put a cap on it, we'll get rid of one of the sanitary buildings that they have out there, which right now is wonderful because it will save the village a lot of money. But at the same token, now we have to worry about getting another sewage system set up. Bonnie Gray does not have the room to just keep on putting more and more people on. But no one listens to it. They want to do this, they want to do that. Well, if you want to do it, then you guys better start looking into what you are going to do. So, and not, most people know what happened on this. They pulled in 3 other companies, actually 4, but one backed out. Unfortunately, they were one of the smarter ones because we spent a lot of money on it.
Sir, may I ask you a question in regards to that and old business?
No, we're done.
No, that's a courtesy at that point. May I continue, Terry? I would really like to know if you think it's factual that any elected mayor could come in, no matter who it would be, and say that they can get their water rates reduced in the next 2 years. Do you think it's possible?
Absolutely not.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so at the end of it, you've already done new business. All right, we'll figure out. Is there any other new business? No? Kerry, do we have executive session?
I have nothing, Mayor. Thank you. Mayor? I do. We need to actually go through a few executive session minutes. So
Can we do it without Christine being here?
Yeah.
I would suggest
They need to actually look at them first, so with or without our clerk.
Can we just wait, really, until we have Jennifer here, Nicole here, and the clerk here? I think that's best. I don't know what everybody else thinks. I'd rather wait.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think if we're gonna look at it, we'll probably have questions for Christina.
Yeah.
Okay, if that's it. And there's nothing else. I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.